Good morning, everybody. We are here today with Nicki making stitch and fold wreath. So it's like a little mini sewing class for you guys. So I know it's a beautiful day and it's hard for you to get on and look at your computer right now, but 11 o'clock was a good time for all of us to get situated and organized. If you see, this is the classroom right now. Look how great it looks. We got a new rug put in. You only see the top of my head. Hello, Beth. Hello, Amy. Good morning, Sue. We got our new irons, the Laura Star irons, which Nicki is gonna show you, which is an amazing iron. Hi, Irene. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, ladies.
And Linda, good morning. I feel like you're all here with me. Big fist pumps right now. No touching. Maybe it's a shoe tap or something right now. Hello, Denise from Maryland. Hello. So I'm just letting some people join before we get started. Give me a hello, a wave, a thumbs up. As you know, after we shoot this live, we will put it on our YouTube channel so you can watch it again and follow Nicki's steps at a slower pace. And it's recorded, and it will also be on our Facebook page afterwards too, so we don't take it off. So you can always watch the Facebook lives later. We never make you not watch it again. We love when you watch it again. Let's see, tomorrow I feel like I have another sewing person coming. I can't remember the project. Friday we have Eileen doing another ruler class. And then Saturday is me live at 9 and 11 doing our sale, my shopping, not even sale, shopping. So, oh my goodness, we have people from all over the place, Florida and Maryland, Eastern New York. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I love how we can reach out to other people that aren't always able to come to our store, or if they are away, they get to still see us and be part of us. Okay, Nicki, I'm going to turn the camera over on you and get the sewing class started.
Good morning, ladies. Hope everybody's doing well. Looks like we're going to get out of this COVID stuff really soon, and I'll be back together, which I am very much looking forward to. Today we're going to revisit an older pattern that I taught a class on, and I'm going to go through the steps of how to do the stitch and fold wreath. And what's great about this wreath is it doesn't have to be one season. You can make this in any fabrics, any combination you like. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. To me, this would look really pretty on a picnic table. And if you're having guests, roll their silverware and put it each in the slot here. That way when they go through your buffet line, they don't have to worry about carrying their silverware too. And you can just have their silverware all lined up, sitting in the center of a picnic table. And in the middle, put a nice citronella candle, and you'll keep all the bugs away, and it will work out great for you. One of the most popular ones that I did was a Buffalo Bills. We know our Bills we have all these great fans. We have the Mafia going. So today I'm going to put together a Buffalo Bills flag for you. And the nice thing about this pattern is it's very repetitive. So once you get the hang of how to do it, you make 12 of the same thing and put it together and you have a wreath. The most time-consuming part of this is doing your applique work and appliquing the piece down in the center. So we'll start from step one. We'll go through the whole thing and we'll just see how it's going. Anybody has any questions, please ask, and we will get some answers for you so that you don't make a mistake with your pattern. So the instructions tell you first to cut 12 7-inch squares in a front fabric and in a back fabric. So I did that. Here's my 7-inch squares. And I did it in 2 coordinating colors. And what I'm also going to do today is I'm going to show you how you can do it and not have the same front and back you can mix them up and have a nice combination of colors also. The second thing it tells you to do is to take your applique piece, which is your centerpiece, which is going to hide the cut that you make to flip your fabrics around. And it tells you to cut them 5 inches square and to put heat and bond on the back. Much, much, much easier, ladies, if you lay the heat and bond on your whole piece that you're cutting and then cut it into 5-inch squares versus cut this, cut the heat and bond, and press it down. So take your fabric in itself, put heat and bond. Do you waste a little? Yeah, you waste a little, but the time that you save is well worth it. The other thing I'm going to tell you is the pattern will tell you you need 5/8 of a yard of both your front and your back. A ½ a yard is more than enough because you need to cut 2 7-inch wide strips. That totals 14 inches and a ½ a yard is 18 inches. So don't waste your fabric. You don't need to have that extra fabric there. This, you need 10 inches, and so you can get away with a 1/3 of a yard of this also, or whatever your applique fabric is.
Nikki, just so you know, we do have Bill's fabric on order. It's just on a delay. So maybe June, maybe July, but we do have over 10 bolts of Bill's fabric ordered. So
the bills are going to be huge this year.
Yeah. 10 bolts worth.
The way they have built through the draft and where they were headed at the end of last year, I really think the bills are going to be huge. And like I said, you could hang it on the door, but you could have a picnic and use it for that. You could have a tailgate party and put it there, wherever you'd like. They're very versatile. There's no weight to them. There's absolutely no weight. They can fold and be stored that way. They can be stored with a garbage bag over them and hang them down in your basement. You don't have to have that big box and be afraid of putting something on top of it because they are really flat and they bounce right back. And the product that they tell you to use is Basil. Basil is like a sponge with a glue on one side. So you buy a package of Basil. Your squares are pre-cut laserly, so you know that this is a perfect square. So then when you lay it on your pieces of fabric, you don't have to be real fussy because you have your square right here. So they're 12 in a pack. They're spongy. Just make sure when you iron them in place, you iron from this side. Do not put the high iron on the sponge because it will shrink the sponge up and it will kind of just all shrink and pull your fabrics in. So make sure you lay this on the wrong side with the bumpy side down and iron from this side. I pre-did these at home so that we didn't spend a lot of time doing the ironing. But that's the only trick to this, is making sure you iron from the fabric side, not the sponge side. And bumpy is your glue like any other stabilizer.
How many packages do they need for this project?
1 package for each wreath. Okay, so we've cut our fabrics. We put our heat and bond on the back, and like I said, it's probably the best if you do this before you do your cutting. It's just much easier. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 pieces together. And I've been alternating mine. So I need a silly girl. I need one of these. So I've got one with the X. Oh, I'm going to tell you another little tip. When you read the pattern and it tells you to make a 2-inch X in here, you've got to flip these things. You are putting a 5-inch square over top of this slit. So to me, open this slit up. And I did my slits about 3.5 inches just because it's easier to work with than a little 2-inch square and try and get all of this around it. So I enjoy using my Wonder Clips here because the straight pins, they're a little tough to get through the layers of the sponge and the 2 layers of the fabric. So I use my clips. And again, we don't need to be real fussy here.
The reason Nikki's saying that is because before we started, I thought she lost her mind and her fabric wasn't straight. And I said, Nikki, I think you want to straighten out your fabric. She goes, no, 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 don't worry.
So if you don't cut exact, don't worry about it. So now, as you know, and I tell you this all the time, I am a huge fan of the open toe foot. And here's another example why. Some people use their zipper foot to do this, but to me, because this area is all open, and I'm supposed to be getting as close as I can to the edge of where the fabric and the basel meet, I like the open toe so I can see it and ride right along with it. So I'm going to do a straight stitch. You don't want to stitch on top of the basel. You may goof a little bit and get on it for a stitch, which is okay, but you want to be close and not on top. So as you can see, here's another reason to have an open toe foot. You can ride right along the edge there of where your fabric and your basel are meeting. I am now putting these two pieces together. I saw exactly where the corner was. I'm not fishing to get a pin out. I'm using my Wonder Clips, which work perfectly. Does anybody have any questions while I finish stitching this?
What's this? This is basel in our form. There's 12 square 6-inch squares in here. So this is the basel that she's using. And it's for the stitch and fold wreath. That's what these two, you need these to make this pattern.
And we've cut our squares 7 inches, so we have more than enough room to lay this down and then trim our seams up.
Now, Nikki, there's more. I know you're working with the squares today, but there are different ones, correct?
There are. There's one that is like a candle mat, and I believe it's done in a leaf shape.
This is the sunflower.
Okay.
Oh, I think you're talking
Is that
about
the one we use the hearts for?
This one is the, I'm going to flip it over. This one you do use, if I'm not mistaken, these leaves.
There's a leaf, there's a hexagon,
and then there's a heart.
She came out with many different patterns, but I do think that this is the most popular, is the square wreath.
Yep,
And then I'm just trimming my seams down a little bit on the sides.
There were questions about other fabrics. Saber's fabric we're waiting for. That's also on order. And we have the Yankees, New York Yankees. So far, with everybody making masks, it's really hard. Everybody wanted their sports themed fabric. So
great Father's Day gifts too.
Oh,
great Father's Day gifts, where especially if the guys have a bar downstairs or anything like that in a rec room, it'll be very different hanging down there. They can put it on their door, on the garage entrance door, anything like that. They work very well. And you don't have to trim them with, I'm going to call it the foofy stuff. You can just put a button on them where you join it together. You don't have to put bows if we're making this more sports. They have football buttons, they have baseball buttons, they have all those kind of things. Or just pick up the color and alternate and do red and blue.
You could put a beer in between all those little gaps. I'm
Yes,
just saying, for a Father's Day gift.
Yes, you could. That would look really cute too. You could stick a bottle in here or a can in here of their favorite beer, and it would make a cute little Father's Day gift.
Okay, I don't know what my dad wants for Father's
So now that I have stitched around the edges, and this is why I tell you make this hole bigger. Don't go crazy because you've only got a 5-inch square to cover it. But make it bigger, because if this was just a little 2-inch, you'd be fighting with this. So this way you don't have to fight, and you're going to turn it.
I see Nicki has her Floriani
I do.
turning tool.
This is my favorite notion out there. OESD makes one, and they have a different end on each one, a smaller ball at the end and a bigger ball. For some reason, this is just really, really easy for me to handle, and I do prefer this one. There's nothing wrong with OESDs. This just, I had it first. I have OESD. I just migrate to this one when I use them. And you're just going to run it in here and poke the hole out. The corner out, I'm sorry. Don't poke too hard and make a hole. So now I have poked this out. You will do this 12 times. You will make 12 squares to complete the wreath. Now I'm going to press it, and I'm going to take one of my pieces that I have the heat and bond on, and I'm going to iron that down. Now, is this a new system to us, Alyssa?
This is a newer system. I think if I understand correctly, they've been here a few years ago. The Laura Star Smart Eye Iron. It's cold steam. Oh, did it go to rest?
Maybe.
Yeah, it did. See, we had it going and then it went to sleep.
It's warming up.
Okay. It is cold steam, so it is not.
Burn your fingers.
You don't burn your fingers. It also, I hear it running.
I do too, but I'm pushing and nothing's coming out.
I think it's just
Heating up.
Yeah, I think it goes to sleep if I'm not mistaken. It also has a fan. There you go. Yep, it went to sleep. It has a fan so it can suck the air down or it can blow it out. It kills 99.999% of bacteria and mites.
I think another nice feature with this
There it goes. I hear it now.
is you don't need to use the steam. So if you're putting something like heat and bond on and you don't want the steam, don't press the little buttons that are on the side and use a dry heat. But if you want something, say you're quilting and you need to get some nicer corners, then you can use the steam. Now you watched me just kind of center this. This is just an eyeball because you're going to flip these sides up on your wreath. So this doesn't, you don't need to get your ruler out and go half inch, half inch. This is just fine by doing it this way.
There it goes.
Okay, I'm going to show you how this works. I normally do not use steam with heat and bond. And it is not hot. That is not burning me at all. Okay. And now we've got our square. The next thing we need to do is applique stitch down our square. Now on the Altair, it's very similar to the Destiny. The difference is that it does not have the built-in camera for your IQ designs. What you will use here is all your smartphones work on it. Do you have to have an iPhone, Alyssa?
No,
Or
you
is
do
it
not.
just a smartphone?
It's just a smartphone.
And you will take pictures using your camera, and your camera will be hooked to your machine, and it will feed into the IQ design. So you are eliminating the steps of the camera and something going wrong with the camera, and you have a problem with your sewing machine. So I am now going to go into my quilting section here, and I'm going to pick up the blanket stitch, and I like to use a width of 2.5 and a length of 3. And what that does is it gives you a nice size stitch, and I'm using white, so you want to make your stitches pretty accurate. And you can see I'm not making a big stitch where it's going in and detracting from what my fabric is. I've used a nice short stitch that's equally distanced all the way around. This line here is what we're doing next. That's the only reason you're seeing that, ladies.
So it's on Q12?
Yes.
Okay, and then you adjusted?
My width and my length.
Okay.
This, it comes, there is what its default is. But I increased it because a 2 is really quite small. And if we make this length real short, our stitches are real close together. We don't want to detract from our design by using a lot of stitches, but yet we want to make sure we are holding it in place well. So I'm now going to go around quickly and do the blanket stitch. I'm dropping my presser foot. And again, I've got the open toe on here so I can see real clearly where this needle is dropping, and I want it to ride right along the edge of where the fabric and the applique meet.
So is your guide the needle, Nicki?
My guide is the needle.
Okay.
And see how it's riding right there, and you're getting a nice crisp stitch.
Now you started in the...
I do. I never start at a corner.
Okay, that's
Never,
why I was
ever.
asking.
Because,
so why?
Well, because then when your two corners meet and you do a back stitch to lock it in place, it's kind of globby.
Okay.
So here I just...
You start
in the middle.
in the middle.
Yes. Okay. Now I want you to pay close attention to this. See how there's just a little bit of room left on there? I'm going to tell you to hold back on the fabric just a little bit so that you get to the corner. See, and I didn't hold back quite enough, and I went past where I need to be. Nothing major. It's not going to show. But my stitch should have been a little closer, so I should have held back. And I'm not telling you to pull. I'm just telling you to put gentle pressure on here to keep it lined up well. And now I'll just go down here. And this open toe allows me to get a little speed behind this, because if this was the J foot or the N foot on a baby lock, you wouldn't be able to see as clearly. And for, I'm going to say us older folk, seeing is better with that open toe there. And see how I hit that right on the corner? That was just by trying to guide the fabric a little bit. Give it a little push if you see that you have a little bit too much, and hold back if you've got too little, so that you end with a crisp corner. And that will all come to you as you continue to do applique work.
Do you know what letter the open toe foot is for the baby lock?
I don't believe there's a letter.
Okay.
I
It's
just
just an
think it's
open
called
toe,
an open toe. And you know how some feet are really, really expensive? Open toe is not. It's, I'm going to say it's $23.99 or $24.99, something like that. Oh, you got to get one more in there. And see how I held it back where my last stitch is smaller than what those are. And it gives you a nice crisp finish. I go past my first stitch and I lock my stitches down.
So there's an open toe clear, which is $15.99. So you can have a clear one. Or there's the metal one, which is $15.99.
Oh, there's been a reduction in price then.
Nikki paid more.
He paid more many moons ago.
So yeah, so you have, those are your two baby lock options.
I've trimmed mine off. Now,
But Bernina also has one. So, I mean, no matter what machine you're using, both machines do offer an open toe foot.
in your pattern, it gives you a template to follow. Well,
Not yours.
well, that's probably because I used it to make this. I made my template using the plastic template sheets, and it really, if you're going to make a bunch of these and each time you're going to be doing this 12 times, you want to use the plastic to make it. Did you find it, Alyssa?
I did.
There it is. And the only thing that is confusing on here is it says outer point and inner point. For me, what I did was I marked this big and little, small. You will see why I did that in a minute.
Okay.
Here's my first square. And I laid my template on the square and I drew a chalk line. I just used my charcoal marker. That's all I used was one of those. Now I'm gonna do mine alternating. So you put the two, and because I've got directional fabric, I need to make sure that I'm going in the right direction with the words. Again, big reason for these clips. Here you would not want your pins going through at all. So I use 3. I clip on each side and I clip down here to hold this in place. And now I'm going to go back to my straight stitch and I'm going to put that is on. I have now put where it's going to back it up. So you're going to lock your stitches in place. It's going to automatically cut your threads and it's going to lower your presser foot for you automatically. So I'm now going to stitch that diagonal line on the edge. Locked my stitches for me. I'm following the line. And when I get to the end there, I'm going to lock my stitches again. Cut my thread for me. Removed my clips. And this is what I mean by big V, little v. So I know on this one, when I lay my template down, I'm going to lay it there. My charcoal. Here it is. Thank you. Made my line. I'm going to open it up. My next one is going to be the blue. I'm going to put the 2 pieces together. And now I'm going to sew on this line again. The instructions are very well written. The only thing that I found that was a little bit, you had to really think about and figure it out, was this template, and outer and inner. As you're building your circle, it's like, okay, what's the outer, what's the inner? I went big and small just because it made it easier to understand that then I have my big ones all on top and my little V's on the bottom.
Look how cute that's starting to look.
And then what we'll do is we will pull these in here and we will tie them together. The best thing I find for tying them together, ladies, is that heavy crochet cotton. We don't really sell it here, but you can pick it up in any of the craft stores. And I use a big-eyed needle and I will come in through the back.
Nicki, like embroidery floss?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes,
Okay.
number 10.
Like what
Yes.
my kids use to make friendship bracelets?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, it's all I can picture.
That's exactly what you want. And it comes in big spools or little spools. And I'm going to go through the holes of my button. And then I tie it back there. I don't deal with a knot and it pulling through or anything, knot in your thread. I tie a knot using both sides. It doesn't show and it's far more secure. I have never tried putting the buttons on using my sewing machine because you're in such a confined area here.
Someone had a question. What
Yes.
size clips do you use?
I use the small. No, in fact, I think these are considered medium, but I do have large also.
So it doesn't matter.
No.
Okay. So
Those
these
look
are
like
the
mediums.
mediums.
Yep, that's
These
what
are,
I have.
These are the mediums. We have a 100 count bag and we have a 50 count little box. There are large, which I think that does. I wouldn't use the small. The small are small.
And they aren't going to want to hold the pressure as you're building this. We're going to put one more piece on so you can see how I've alternated the colors. And even though I've matched my wording so that it goes in the same direction, you are building a circle. So it's going to go around, and at some point, some piece is going to be upside down. But if you line them up the right way to start with, at least they are all going to be uniform. And that's only if you're using a directional fabric. These are beautiful at Christmas time because you can make them elegant. They don't have to be sporty and fun. They can just be more elegant. Let's add the red one, and then we'll see how it looks when we flip 2 of the reds next to 2 of the blues. And you'll see how pretty that is. So I'm going to take my last piece I put on. I'm lining my template up. This is the only confusing part, ladies. And if you do it the wrong way, you're going to see it right away because your circle will not come together at the end. And then you're going to have to take this apart. Okay, I did it again.
What are you missing?
My chocolate. There it is. It runs away. So I'm laying it down. I'm drawing my line.
Oh, Nicki,
Is my hand
you're making
in the
me
way?
nervous that you need a flat surface.
Well, you do, but this works fine. This is live.
I know. I'm just trying to help. You're making me nervous.
Don't be nervous.
So you have 2 templates. Is that just because you
I made
lose?
2.
Okay.
Because I lose them, like my charcoal liner.
So my question too is,
Here's my clips. Clip this corner
what was my question?
and make sure they're wrong sides together.
What did you make your template, like what did you trace your template on? One of those sheets, right? The
Yeah, we
template?
sell them. It's in our,
I know.
where we put our cutting boards in one of those slots.
Okay.
Very reasonable, ladies. I think $1.99 for a sheet. Again, lock those stitches in from here because you've got a lot of push and pull on this.
This is a fun project.
It is.
Right? It's not,
It
you know,
is.
it's when you're taking
it's
a break.
Nicki kind of project.
It is. It's when you take a break from the masks, or if you're sick of quilting, this is just something fun to.
Or you're not a quilter.
Or you're not a quilter like Nicki. This is just something, and it's festive if you want. I know Nicki has made samples in Easter, St. Patrick's Day. You have the watermelons. We have Christmas. Here you are with the bills. I mean,
And this is so cute because I just went to the Dollar Tree and picked up a pair of sunglasses, stuck it in here, glued them. I put it through, put some thread on it, but then I glued it so it's not going anywhere.
the Easter one, you stuck the
plastic
plastic
eggs.
Easter eggs in it. So, you know, if you had your grandkids over or your children and you want it at the table and there's their special little treat.
And this will tell you how light it is. This is all I use to hang it. And you can use the little suction cups because there is no weight to this and it'll hold it.
Yeah, it's light.
But I really like the idea of this being on a picnic table with a great citronella candle in there.
You could put a dip in there.
You could put a dip in there. Yes, you could.
You could put a candle if it's in your house and you need to make it festive.
Dining room table.
Dining room table.
Yeah, very, very pretty. I've also done that where I've put a glass bowl and put a set of ornaments in there at Christmas time. But here's the first 4 pieces, ladies. And this is what it'll look like. You'll have your red checks there and your blue checks here. And while you think this isn't going to fit, it does.
It's kind of like when you put your jeans on after this COVID.
Yes.
You just kind of squeeze it over.
And the other thing
Tuck it
is,
in.
take your phone book. Do we still have phone books, or are those a thing of the past?
Maybe you do. I know I don't.
Well, take something heavy like that and put it
Encyclopedia.
down on it.
I don't have that either.
Yeah. And that's how they work. And see how pretty it looks with your applique stitches on the back. Could you do this using a decorative stitch, and would it be prettier?
Ooh.
Yes, it'll just be more time consuming to do it that way.
Big question.
What?
Is this washable?
Oh,
No, we keep things dirty here. No, I'm just kidding.
I've never tried washing it.
I would wash very gentle and air dry if
Because of the sponge.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd throw that in the water.
No, I'd hand
would
wash.
not.
I would hand wash, kind of, if you got something on it, in a sink, kind of wash and then let it sit
Let
out
it air
and
dry.
air dry.
Yes.
That personally, just the feel of the basil is why I say that.
Yeah. And that's how cute this is going to be when it's done. And fabrics, it's endless. The one that I thought of today, and I don't know if we have any left, but the bumblebee fabric. Wouldn't that be pretty on a picnic table? And I did my backyard in the bumblebee fabric, and I just think that would be pretty.
I know, because if you guys all know, we weren't allowed to go to a quilt market, which was really sad last week. And it's
Very sad.
and like that is my year of planning. So I have no plans. Haha, warning. So I have been looking at a lot of the fabric companies because they're sending me books because we couldn't sit down. And I will say some of the lines are bees. Bees must be coming back.
Good.
Lemons are kind of phasing out. Bees are in. So I was laughing at that. So there are a few lines.
The yellow and black together is just so
stunning.
summery.
It is.
Yes, so summery.
So there are some bee lines out there.
Yes. But that's it. And okay, I'm going to tell you something else. Do this instead of trying to put all 12 pieces together and being fumbling. Do 3 4-piece sections, and then attach another 4-piece, and then your final 4-piece. And it's not so cumbersome working on it.
Oh, good thinking.
So
Good
do it
tip.
that way. I believe they might have even suggested doing something like that, but in the beginning I was like, oh, I got to get this shape, and I didn't try it, but it really is a good point. That way you're not, it's like when you can work your quilt in sections, you're not working the whole massive thing all at once.
So I know you said you didn't make this one, Nikki, but there's a new one, the sunflower nesting bowl. That is another one, and it looks like a bowl, and it's probably hard to kind of see it. But yeah,
I believe that is done with, you don't buy pieces, you buy like
a sheet of basil, which we
Yes.
have here too. If I'm not mistaken, basil we've used for like purses, certain purses, because
Yes.
of how they're stiff and the
They
durability.
do a wine container and different things like that too.
Marcy said spray it with Scotch Guard,
Okay.
which is a great
idea.
tip. I see. This is what I like. You guys all put out your idea, like what works for you, which is nice. I'm gonna go over. Here's the Bernina open toe foot. So it's the number 20 foot for the 5mm sewing machines. There is a dual feed open toe foot for the 9mm sewing machines. Oh, sorry. There you go. So they do come in the Bernina machine. If you're a Bernina machine owner, you do have an open toe foot. We have the Wonder Clips. Here's a 100 count. We have a 50 count little square bucket. So like we were saying, there's different shapes in these forms. So there's a leaf one, which let me show you. So here's the leaf one to make
I
this.
think that does the heart. Is there a heart shaped?
I know, I feel like we're missing something.
I think we're missing a pattern.
Yep,
I think there's a heart
But we can get all of this. So here's this one. Then you have a hexagon shape, which the pattern, this is what this one is. And then you have the leaf, which is a heart shape form, which.
And if I'm not mistaken, that one, because I have done that one, the hole in the middle is a little bit smaller, and
I
it's
can't
great
open.
for a candle.
Oh, so this hole, she's talking about the
Yes.
center of this.
Because this is quite a large circle in the middle. To put a candle, you really need a good sized candle for that.
So,
But I believe that one is smaller.
so this is what we have in stock. We do have the square forms. We have patterns. And if we run out, we can always order. If you're interested in anything here, please call the stores, 716-652-2811 or 716-204-8350. Or you can email us at info@aurorasewingcenter.com for any of your shopping needs. As you know, our website, we load a lot of our fabrics. I know yesterday I sent Sydney, our marketing person, probably about 30 pictures for a lot of the fabrics that were on our website. So you can always shop there. you can always call. We are servicing machines still. We are about 10, 14 days, but you are still available to do that. I know we're at phase 1, which is still, we're doing the same thing. We're curbside shopping. So no, we're not letting you in just yet, but it is curb, so you can call us and we'll cash you out and put it on the porch or in the back hallway in East Aurora and come pick it up. Anything else, Nikki? Are there questions?
Just a little bit to talk about this machine. Just so you know, the Altair right now has pallet included with it, which is a couple $1,000 software package that's in there. And also there is, I believe Scott told me, a $300 rebate on it. Great machine. First time I've really sat down with it. I have my Destiny and love it. I really like this machine. It's very, very, very nice.
Guess what Nikki's going home with today? So yeah, anything else? Any questions?
I know this is an oldie pattern, but it's just something right now that you can really work on with your scraps if you have them, or if you need something new to brighten your house. Easy project. You do 12 of the same things.
I think I'm taking some home for the weekend.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting 2 days off this week.
Woo!
I know.
No Saturday?
I'm
Or
working
Monday?
Saturday, no Monday. So Sunday, Monday. So I know. How exciting.
Good for you.
All right. So Nikki will probably be back next week.
Okay.
I'll just have to beg
Is
her.
there anything they want to see?
There you go. Is there anything you guys would like Nikki to teach next week?
How about, and I thought about this the other day, the windsock. We did that. We could revisit the windsock and make our strips, and if you have a serger, it's a good place to do that 3-thread rolled hem and do it up very easily. So we could do the windsock. Anything else? Any other ideas you guys have that you'd like to see?
Sorry, just turning the machine off.
Just don't say some crazy big quilt.
No, and we are, I am trying to get, I know Eileen's been teaching different classes.
And she's a good quilter.
I know, we're also Diane. I think Diane's tomorrow. That's been the plan. Things do happen, but that's the plan, is Diane's tomorrow. So she should be teaching us, and I can't remember. So, again, put it out there. And the other thing is, and I'm going to throw that out there, and the teachers don't even know this. What if we did some Zoom classes? Instead, I know you can't come into the store and learn, but we could maybe do a Zoom class. If there's a class out there, and the teachers would come in here and get on Zoom and teach you a class. I would say 3 hours would probably be the most you'd want a class. I wouldn't do an all-day sewing lab. That is not the intent, but we could definitely put that out there. So email me if you have any interest in some classes. Or you can put it on our Facebook page or behind the scenes as an idea. Just trying to get some ideas rolling, because we don't know how long this is going for, but we do know that you're all looking for education. You're all looking for something to do. I know some of my teachers are looking for something to do, and we want to all be here for each other at this time. So
I think we could do a Tea Towel Tuesday, ladies, via Zoom, and it would take us an hour, hour and a half, and it would be fun.
And you know what? And really, Zoom is really easy as long as you sign up for a free account. And then it feels like we're together, but we're not together, but we're together. And all your sewing supplies are in your house. So if there's anything you need, you just turn around and go get it. And if you don't want the camera on you, you can turn the camera off. If you want to mute, you can mute yourself. If you are going to swear or yell at your husband or your kids. Not that I do that ever. But you have that option. So any questions for today or any ideas? Ooh, they like the windsock idea.
They do.
Yeah, there was a thumbs up on that. Two people. Okay.
Okay.
So
another thing that it would be good for is if you have all the inside pieces, it's that small trash can is what.
The circle.
Yes.
I can't think of.
I don't know the name of it either.
The pop-up. I
Yes,
don't know. That's the word I got.
It's
the
called
pop-up.
pop-ups. Yes, we could do that. I can have it partially done like I do here and just show you how to put it together. Because that's the tricky part of that one, is getting the pop-up inside and then releasing it after you've sewn it. So that would work good too. But ladies, when you finish, if you do any of these projects, please post them. I love seeing what you've done. And don't be afraid to email me or call if you need to. I will be more than glad to answer any questions if you get stuck on a place where you reverse something. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll post what time later tonight. I'm going to say probably at 11 o'clock. I have to talk to Diane and square things up. If not, you will definitely see me Saturday. So get your large cup of coffee for 9 o'clock in the morning.
And your finger ready.
And your finger ready. As you know, it's how all those comments come in. It's crazy, but I will have the 2 sessions on Saturday at 9 and then the 11 o'clock for the shopping spree. So thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you guys all tomorrow live and enjoy this beautiful weather. But make sure you call Aurora Sewing Center. Bye.
Bye, ladies. Miss you.